you understand the placement of the 8th house lord of the Navamsa as it is placed within the 12 houses of the Navamsa, then it could mean the difference between either leading a life of challenges, obstacles, issues, or transforming yourself to be able to get the best gains from not only your life but even an elevation of your soul itself. Hello, Namaskar and Abab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We have been talking about a number of placements in the Navamsa from the D1 chart, also the placement of different signs, what they mean in the D9 chart. We have also talked about how the placement of the 7th house lord of the D9 chart placed within the 12 houses of the D9 chart, the Lagna lord of the D9 chart placed within the 12 houses of the D9 chart, how the Dara Karaka placed in the D9 chart will manifest results, how the Atma Karaka, the Amatya Karaka will manifest results for you, and how you should be able to look at those placements and look at the deepest manifestation of the placements, because the Navamsa is the deepest manifestation of the placements of the attributes of the results and the biggest probability of certain results coming to you. So if you understand the placements of house lords and different energies, different planets, different associations like Dara Karaka, Amatya Karaka and so on well in your Navamsa, then you should be able to use those energies to your advantage, because these will give you the highest probabilities of manifesting the best results that you can get in life. Today I am going to talk about the placement of the 8th house lord of the D9 chart within the 12 houses of the D9 chart itself. This is a very important placement, because what is the 8th house lord of the Navamsa saying? It is giving you the highest probability of challenges, issues, obstacles, and the ability or the opportunity of transforming, changing your life to be able to get best results in different manifestations. So let's jump in and understand how the 8th house lord's placement in different houses in your D9 chart, in your Navamsa chart, will bring about different opportunities for you, highest probabilities for you, and how you can use those energies to either transform your life for the better towards a positive entailment, or you can also go through, if not understood well, if not understanding the deepest mysteries of the 8th house, then it could also be a downward trend, a downward spiral towards challenges, issues and even destruction. Now firstly, what does the 8th house lord of the Navamsa mean? It means changes, transformations, profiting from other people, sudden changes that come into your life, your ability to cope with sudden events, handling those events, profiting from those events, learning from the suddenness, the issues in life, understanding the deepest meaning of life, and using that learning to transform yourself and to help others. And usually these meanings come to manifest more from your late 30s onwards, when Saturn also matures. So a lot of events related to your life may also come about, especially when the 8th house lord gets connected to different houses from those manifestations of those houses. So if the 8th house lord of the Navamsa gets placed in the first house itself, now here when the 8th house lord gets placed in the first house, so it brings about the biggest changes, transformations to in fact the whole life, because what is your Lagna? Your Lagna is your entire life, the whole ability to be able to look at different perspectives of life. So the 8th house lord will go and transform your thinking, or force you to transform yourself, or force you to correct yourself, course correct, and be able to contend with the issues, challenges, problems in life. And so many times, many issues of life that come for different quarters of life, almost all aspects of life can be seen with this connection with the 8th house lord goes into the first house. However, the positive thing that can be out of this is that if you are able to contend with those energies, if you are able to understand those energies, if you are able to understand the deepest mysteries of life, contend with the meaning of what the challenges are, what the situations are, learning from them, and be ready to transform how you think about life, how you look at your goals, how you look at your health, how you look at your relations, how you look at your investments, how you make your money, how do you get your status and stature in life, then this can bring about a huge plus point for you, a lot of positive relations for you, a lot of positive assets for you, a lot of positive material results for you as well. On the other hand, if the 8th house lord is gone in the first house in a more negative placement, and if you're not ready to learn, if you're not ready to transform, you're not ready to change, you're not ready to change your perspective, then it creates a higher probability that the whole life can go through one negative after the other, one downward spiral after the other, one loss after the other, one backward movement after the other. So this is a challenging placement if you don't understand the meaning of the placement well. And now, because the 8th house has gone 6th from itself, this could also mean certain diseases may come to you, certain sicknesses may also come to you, because of which your whole life may be suffering because of some chronic ailment or sudden ailment also. Now this is more about if the placement is negative, and if you're not ready to learn from the challenges and issues and transform yourself, how you look at life, how you look at relation, how you look at the goals in life also. Secondly, the relationship which is established by which planet goes in the lagna is also important. For example, if sun goes into the lagna, then the biggest challenges, the biggest transformations, the biggest issues may come from your relationship with your father. If it's moon, from your mother. If it's Jupiter, then it could be your association with your husband, especially for a woman. How you deal with the opposite gender, how you deal with your better half, how you deal with your husband, and how, if you are able to learn from the ups and downs, if you are able to make the right choice, if you are able to make the right choice, then it could be a good thing for you. And how much you are able to depend on the relationship. If it's son, how much wise counsel you are able to get from father to be able to make and handle those issues, the challenges in life. If it's about the moon, then how much you are able to get close to the mother, have a wise mother or wise counsel from mother, because of which you are able to overcome issues and challenges in life with a lot of positivity. If it's husband, if it's Jupiter, then how much you are able to get wise counsel from your husband, depend on a wise counsel from husband, make a wise decision about husband, and then through that be able to transform your life, better your life, and be able to contend with issues in life and the challenges of life with a lot of dignity, with a lot of status, with a lot of calm, with a lot of poise as well. So on the whole, it's a challenging placement, 8th house lord going 6th from itself, but if you're able to contend with this energy well, if you're able to use the transformation well, then this could bring about the biggest gains from the 8th house energies also. This could be a healer, this could be a problem solver, this could be somebody who is a deep research, and through the ability to be able to overcome challenges, through your healing ability, through your ability to problem solve, through your ability to research, through your ability to be able to come up with transformative solutions, innovative solutions, you create a lot of big status for yourself, a lot of dignity for yourself, and get a lot of respect, all round respect from all entities, all areas of your life as well. Now when the 8th house lord of your Navamsa, of your D9 chart, goes into the 2nd house. So when the 8th house lord goes into the 2nd house, this means that the biggest transformations, the biggest issues, the biggest challenges, the biggest obstacles may come to your earning, or from your earning, or your need to earn a certain remuneration, your need to get into a certain bracket for your earning also, for what savings you're going to make, where you're going to profit from, how you're going to make your livelihood. So this could connect your livelihood to the 8th house energies, being a problem solver, being a healer, maybe becoming a doctor as well. But the biggest manifestation is that this can bring in the more financial gains. 8th house lord going into the lagna, for example, is more about status, dignity, your respect, how people see you. The 2nd house, when the 8th house lord goes into the 2nd house, it's more about the financial gains, remuneration, earning potential, ability to grow your money from the 8th house energies, from being able to understand and manifest and profit from the 8th house. So this could be a number of things for you in terms of what earning opportunities the 8th house gives, through agriculture, through in minerals, through IT, through any creativity, through the art, the media, to the virtual world. A number of manifestations will get connected to the 2nd house to earn more money from those energies also, and to be able to use the learning that you get, the understanding that you get about the 8th house after going through the issues, transforming yourself and really looking at how you will earn in life. But if you're not ready to learn, if you're not ready to understand, change your correction, change the course, transform your way of thinking of how you look at earning, remuneration, livelihood, then the biggest issues may come in your earning, huge ups and downs may come in your earning potential also. Especially if it's positive energy, if 8th house lord goes into a positive placement in the 2nd house, huge money may come from other people's issues, challenges. For example, how does a doctor make money? The doctor makes money only when somebody falls sick. How does somebody make money or get their livelihood if they are working in an emergency or in an emergency situation like a fire brigade or whatever? They all make money or they make their livelihood through emergency situations or the challenges in other people's lives or some downfall in other people's lives also. So if this is a good placement, then you can help others, you can support others, you can nourish others and be able to help others overcome their obstacles, their issues, and through that you make your earning, you make your potential also. And so your life can go through ups and downs also if it is more negative placement, but a lot of plus points, a lot of earning potential if it goes into a positive placement. Then which planet goes into being the ruler of the 8th house and the 2nd house will also manifest its energies accordingly. If it's Venus, then it's all more about money, but it could also be a relationship with the other gender, with the opposite gender. Especially for men, Venus going into the 2nd house means your earning potential will come from Venus related dissemination, arts, artistic endeavors, IT, taxes also, and you could also have your spouse bringing in a lot of money, earning into the house also. She can also be a strong support for you. On the other hand, if it's Sun, then it will also be that your earning potential comes from following in the footsteps of the father or joining your father for business also. So depending on what is the manifestation, what is the relationship, those results may also come out for you when the 8th house lord gets into the 2nd house in the Navamsa chart. Now when the 8th house lord gets into the 3rd house in your Navamsa, so this means to be able to overcome obstacles, challenges, issues, you will have to put in that much hard work, you will have to put in that much more effort, but you to understand and profit from the 8th house also, you will have to put in that much hard work, you will have to put in that much effort to be able to transform yourself, which means after going through a lot of hard work, you manifest a lot of effort to get more earning, to get more success, yet you are not able to get success, then you have to transform how you look at how you put in effort. Rather than making a lot of hard work, maybe you have to do some more smart work. The other perspective of this is that when you go through challenges, issues in life, you have to understand from those issues, the turbulation, and change your perspective, how you communicate with people, how you're forming a relationship, how you're able to form your ability to influence others in such a manner that the longevity of your relationship also continues, because 8th house is about longevity. The 8th to the 8th. Why 8th to the 8th? 3rd house is the 8th house from the 8th house. So here obstacles to obstacles, issues to issues, and transformations to transformation, which means that a lot of obstacles can be stopped, a lot of issues in your life can be prevented if you're putting in the right effort in the right direction, if you're forming the right relation through your ability to communicate well, through your ability to influence others, through your ability to be able to make strong bonds based on your ability to influence others, based on your ability to communicate and to put in hard work. This also means if you're going through or if you're doing something on your own, self-enterprise, say for example in the social media, being an influencer, maybe an artist, maybe a teacher, maybe a guide, maybe a consultant, then your life may also go through ups and downs, through transformation issues before you find success also. And the harder you work, 3rd house, the better the chance you have at moksha itself, because 8th house is the deepest manifestation of moksha. If you're able to help people, put in effort to help people, transform their lives, be able to use your ability to communicate, influence, to be able to get other people to rally around you to help other people, then you can also have a crack at moksha itself, because the 3rd house is the 8th house from the 8th house. Especially if it's positive perspective, then you can get a lot of money from business, from your self-enterprise connected to the 8th house energies of minerals, gems, research, IT, from making movies, from drama, from the virtual world, whatnot. But if it's negative, that means that more number of hard work you will have to put in the manifestation or in overcoming challenges and issues in life just to stay even afloat. Now which planet goes into the 3rd house will also create that much more problems for you. If its moon goes into the 3rd house, then you will have to work harder to be able to keep good relationship with the mother, not to have challenges with the mother, or your relationship with the mother, for example, can go through ups and downs and changes and even transformation, and similarly for Sun with Father, Jupiter for husband. Now when the 8th house lord in the Navamsa in the D9 chart goes into the 4th house, this could be a placement where through your ability to overcome challenges, obstacles, issues connected to your 4th house, 8th house being Lord being in the 4th house means obstacles to your domestic life is coming about, transformations to your domestic life is coming about. The transformation is coming to your domestic life with your partner, your family also, and to your assets that you are making. So initial life it may not be easy to manifest these energies, which means initial life your relationships may have gone through ups and downs, whether married or not married. The first 2 or 3 relations could give you the biggest challenges, biggest upheavals, biggest issues, and you expected to learn from them, manifest the positive energies. Only then will the 8th house allow your 4th house, your domestic life, to be stable, to be settled, and then you make gains from it if you have understood the turbulation, the challenges, and the ability to keep harmony at home, to keep the peace at home, to be able to take everybody along, the family along, and to be giving more than expecting more. And through the earning potential of the 8th house, you may also be able to make more assets, gain more assets. On the other hand, if its 8th house goes into a negative placement in the 4th house, then even to the ability to make assets, to make property, to be able to keep your property also, huge ups and downs may come in. So initial part of your life, you may have issues with investments, making properties, making assets, getting all the conveniences of life, getting the better conveniences life, the better comforts of life, like a big car, a big house and all that. You will have to struggle a lot of hard work, put in a lot of hard work to be able to make those assets. But if you are able to understand after going through issues, challenges, problems of the 8th house and transform how you look at assets, that these are not the most important things, relationships are most important, harmony at home is more important, peace at home is more important, and you work towards that end, and you're more giving, you are more helpful while establishing the domestic home, then over a period of time the 8th house Lord will also give you the ability to overcome obstacles and make assets. Now which house Lord goes into the 8th house, the house Lord goes into the 4th house in terms of the planet, will also manifest its result. If it's moon, then the challenges to your ability to make assets may be higher if you are not emotionally intelligent. If it's sun, then if you are having a lot of stubborn attitude, a lot of controlling attitude at home, then there may be more issues and challenges rather than being humble. So keep in mind, whichever planet is the 8th house Lord going into the 4th house, that will also bring in its own manifestation. Now when the 8th house Lord goes into the 5th house in your Navamsa chart, the 5th house is about your investment, your ability to be able to get higher gains from your investment, your romantic liaison. So when the 8th house Lord is going into the Navamsa, here it creates a higher probability that in your education, in your ability to strike good romances, keep those romances, keep the partner, will go through ups and downs and transformations. So initial romantic life, there may be many issues, many misunderstandings also, even many downfalls in the relationships, even when your expectations may also be naysayed, which means they will be dusted to the ground because you expect something else from the relationship, something else comes out. Your education, your initial education may also go through transformation. In school you must have thought of doing something else. By the time you had your graduation, you are doing something else, and by the time you're working, your profession may be something else. And because the 5th house is the 8th to the 10th, a lot of changes and obstacles to your ability to grow within the job. So this also means many times you have to change your job a number of times. Transformations to your job, changes to your job may also come in because you're forced to make those changes also, maybe forced to change cities also. And through that, over a period of time, your ability to overcome challenges, issues and keep good relations with your colleagues, then the power and the influence which the 5th house means may also come to you. To some extent could also mean that your relations with your children may also go through a transformation, your ups and downs. For example, you may not have been able to give time to your children initial part of life, and then by the time the children are grown up, then you realize I spend most of my time at work and I was not able to do much with my children. So then your perspective of how you deal with your children may also change. So a lot of changes to transformations, obstacles, upheavals, ability to overcome them, ability to learn from them and then gain from the matters of the 8th house getting connected to the 5th house, and the areas of the 5th house manifesting is this placement. This is also a good placement where your finances, your investments may also go through ups and downs. So this is a placement where you need to be careful, especially in the share market, in stock broking, and in a day-to-day dealing perspective, because these could give you the biggest highs also, biggest profits also, but the biggest losses also, especially depending on whether the 8th house lord going into the 5th house is a positive placement or a challenging. The other thing is based on which planet is ruling the 8th house and going into the 5th house will bring its own manifestation. If it's Sun, then it's a more powerful placement because Sun acquires a lot of energy in the 5th house. On the other hand, if it's, say for example, Saturn, then surely more challenges will be coming to your relationship. Stability in your relationship may come over a period of time. Keep this in mind. Now when the 8th house lord goes into the 6th house, here 8th house lord going into the 6th house means 8th house is going 11 places from itself. So this case there's a lot of gain making energy. So you can gain a lot of money, you can get a lot of success from how the issues of other people's lives, obstacles of other people's lives is creating opportunity for you to make wealth by supporting them, by serving them, because the 8th house lord going into the 6th house. This is also sort of a Vipreet Raj Yoga. So a lot of people with this placement could also be healers, problem solvers, doctors, especially connected to service industries. So a lot of people, doctors, lot of people who are in the medicine world, a lot of gynecologists, a lot of people who are also helping other people in chronic ailments or ailments of the stomach or healing tendencies or serving others, veterinary doctors, working in spas, working in hospitality industry, working in banks, because the 8th house is other people's money, 6th house is debts, loans, and serving on a day-to-day basis. So then you could be serving in a day-to-day basis in those industries connected to the 8th house. So this is the strong manifestation of that, huge gains also coming in. On the other hand, because the 8th house lord is going into the 6th house, you yourself could get a chronic ailment connected to your intestines, connected to how you take in your own nourishment, your own food. So one has to be very, very careful. If 8th house lord has gone into the 6th house, to be able to be very careful of your diet, have a very strong, strict health regimen, exercise daily, keep a discipline in your life. The other thing is the 6th house is also the 12th to the 7th house, which could mean that a lot of transformation in your life will come after loss of relationship. And only when you go through the loss, then you are able to understand the deeper manifestations of life, the deeper mysteries of life you are able to contend with. Now, which planet is gone into the 6th house while being the lord of the 8th house is also important. If it's Venus, Venus doesn't do very well in the 6th house. So this is almost a short placement of big ups and downs in your ability to have good relationship. So many relationships issues, transformation in your relations, and at least one loss can come about, then being able to open your eyes and to be more mature in your relationship before gains come to you, because it's a gain making placement. Mind you, 8th house lord is going 11th houses from itself. On the other hand, if it's Saturn, then this can give you more stability in your relationship after you go through a transformation, how you look at the relationship also. This is also strong placement that people can be connected to the legal services, law agencies also, and through that you are able to make a lot of gains and stable gains over a period of time. Now when the 8th house lord goes into the 7th house in your Navamsa chart, this is the deepest manifestation of the 12th placement of the 8th house. So this is a placement where the biggest transformation, the biggest challenges, the biggest issues may come in your ability to form relationships, meaningful relationships also, meaningful partnerships also. Your ability to work with people, your ability to work with anybody on a day-to-day basis is also hampered by obstacles, by challenges, and your ability to learn from those obstacles, learn from those issues, learn from the situation that the 8th house is putting you into. But this also means that you can also gain the biggest of gains through giving, through donating, through sacrificing also, which means first when you're giving, first you're donating, first when you're charitable in your relationship, in your partnership, then through the transformation that you need to be more giving, you need to be more balanced, you need to be more social in your relationship, in your partnership, then gains come for you. This could also mean a lot of support from your in-laws also, because the 8th house has in-laws energies. It could also mean that your spouse comes from the houses related or the areas related to the 8th house. Spouse could be a doctor, spouse could be from emergency services, spouse could be from the banking, IT industry, from the insurance industries as well. Spouse could also have a deep interest on the occult also. So a number of manifestations will also be placed, but gains will come through only after initial challenges, obstacles are overcome by your maturity, by your ability to be able to learn from it. This is also very big manifestation of moksha itself, because 8th house lord is doing 12th from itself, which means in giving more, in doing more, in sacrificing more without expecting from your relationship, from your partnerships, from on a day-to-day basis, whoever you are connecting with, from doing more and expecting less, then you will be able to elevate your soul itself. And this is one of the strongest placement for moksha itself. Now, basis which planet goes into the 7th house by being the 8th lord, that will also come about. Say for example, if it's sun which rules the 8th house goes into the 7th house, which also mean that you could also get a lot of help and support from your in-laws, especially your father-in-law for example, or from the government agencies, or even from superiors at work. Now if the 8th house lord in the Navamsa is placed in the 8th house itself, this is a gift given by the zodiac to you, that you are having the energy to be able to go over and be able to face the biggest challenges, the biggest issues, obstacles, transformation which the 8th house will bring to you from time to time. This is not an easy placement, but the power is given to you. So if you are able to understand the deep mysteries of life, that life is a set of challenges, life is a set of issues, life is a set of obstacles which you have to overcome over a period of time by being helpful, by being serving, by being somebody who's more giving and understanding the challenges and issues that others face, and through that able to help others. So this could be almost our entire life has to be seen as somebody who wants to serve, somebody who wants to do, and expect the results come to you from the zodiac itself. If you're trying to say that okay, I'll work very hard on this, then I will get the biggest gains from it, then you may be misled, you may be barking up the wrong tree. This is a placement where you do more, you work harder, you are more giving, you are more caring, you understand the deep issues of life, overcome one obstacle of the other, and the zodiac pays you back. Zodiac pays you back both in terms of your remuneration, in terms of your earning, as well as giving you a chance of elevating your soul itself, because the 8th house lord, one of the strongest manifestation of moksha, is placed in the 8th house itself. This is also a strong placement of doing research, of educating yourself about life issues and challenges, working in the 8th house in psychology, in helping others with challenges and issues in their life, emergencies also, and at a mind level, at the psychology level, at the occult level also, to be able to understand and use that energies to help people to problem solve for others. This could also be a surgeon, this could also be somebody who's helping others in their own wealth management, helping others in their challenges, in their issues, in their health challenges also, and sudden issues of life of other people as well. Now depending which planet is placed in the 8th house while being the 8th lord will also manifest the results strongly. For example, if it's Venus, then it could mean that the biggest support in your life, overcome obstacles, will come from your life partner. If it's Jupiter, then for a woman, the biggest support in your life will come from your husband. So your relationship with those people, whichever the planet is ruling, that relationship is very, very important. Your ability to be able to handle the relationship more wisely is very, very important, because that relationship could also be a karmic relationship for you. So as long as it's a strong placement and you are manifesting the relationship well, then this could be a very good placement for you, or could be a good added advantage for you. Especially if Mars is the 8th house lord in the Navamsa and placed in the 8th house, this is one of the better placement. On the other hand, if it's Moon, then you can surely expect that there may be some issues, some challenges also in your emotional health before you are able to overcome it and you are able to contend with that energy to then be able to gain from it. Now when the 8th house lord goes into the 9th house, now this is the placement that through the challenges, the issues, the transformations that you face, the obstacle that you face, you will learn more from it. And the more you learn, the better chance that you have to be able to gain from it also. This is the higher learning that you gain from the 8th house. So a lot of people who may study about the 8th house and through that learning be able to make about a career, be able to make about a business, write about it. 9th house is also the house of publishing, and also the higher learning that you get, the better for you. So a lot of people who do research, who may be writing PhD, who are also teaching students in the matters of the 8th house. So somebody who can also be instructor, can be a teacher, can be a guide, can be a counselor about issues, relationship management, about research, about nuclear medicine, for example, or medicine, or medical related industries, or IT related industries, or taxation related industries, finance related industries, and you become a guru over a period of time because of the deep understanding of that issues, deep understanding of the manifestation, deep understanding of the area. This could also mean that your own life will go through a transformation only after you learn, and you also have a guide as a teacher, as a mentor, and then later on you become a mentor to others. So if you have a strong mentor, if you have a strong teacher, if you have a strong guru, then life is easier for you. The manifestation is also better, especially if Sun is the Lord of the 8th and gone into the 9th house. This is an excellent placement where your guru is starting off as your father itself is a guru, or some teacher can become a father figure for you at over a period of time. This could also mean a lot of gains from the government also, and later on in your life you can get a lot of name, fame as a guru of huge reputation also. One of the most brightest shining star in the field of research, in the field of education, can be yours when the 8th house lord goes into the 9th house in the Navamsa. But this could also mean going far away from your comfort factor, transforming your thinking, transforming how you look at your faith, your belief, maybe changing your faith and belief, maybe changing how you look at religion itself, maybe becoming somebody who is more open to embracing other beliefs, other religions, other faith systems, opening your mind to other learning systems also, and then to gain over a period of time is this placement. Now when the 8th house lord goes into the 10th house on your Navamsa chart, here the 8th house lord has gone third from itself. So this is a placement where a lot of hard work will have to be done to be able to overcome challenges, issues, obstacles before making your career, before doing well in your career. And this is also very karmic placement, because the 10th house in your Navamsa is the strongest manifestation of your karma. This also shows that a certain karmic debt you'll have to pay to make your career, to be able to overcome obstacles in your career, and then to gain in your career and to profit in your career. So this could also mean that your career get related to the 8th house, and your career initial while being related to the 8th house also will go through obstacles, challenges, problems, facing issues from your colleagues, facing issues from your superiors before you make gains. And the better communication that you have, the better bonds you are able to create through your communication, through your ability to influence other people, that much better for you. This could also be a person who can get a lot of gains from your career connected to the communication industry, the social media, being an influencer, being a performer, being an artist, somebody who can also be very, very good, connected to writing, publishing also. In the career also you could have a more communication oriented role. Your initial connection with your superiors could also go through ups and downs before you get to the powers that be. So if you are able to work on your relation with your superiors, then over a period of time, by being able to establish excellent rapport with them, excellent relationship with them, then your career really transforms and takes off, and there is no looking back. So this is a placement where over a period of time you not only give off your karmic debt, not only are you able to create better relationship, not only are you able to get better in your career, but also in those areas which are connected to the social media, using technology, using your ability to communicate to be able to better yourself. Now whichever planet rules the 8th house goes into the 10th house, that will also create its own manifestation. This could be one of the best placements to make a lot of money if Venus rules the 8th house and gets into the 10th house. On the other hand, if it's moon, then it could also be a lot of creativity, being a media star also, and then being able to maybe somebody a huge star from a media perspective on the print media, on the social media also, and then making your gain through a lot of creativity through your innovation can also be this placement. If it's Jupiter, then it could also mean that for women, the husband is getting connected to work, or your relationship with the husband could also go through ups and downs before you are able to make it big, before you are able to settle in a relationship. So the first initial relationship with the husband may also go through hard work, where you need to work hard on the effort to establish the relationship before stable relationships, before stable results come to you. Now when the 8th house lord goes into the 11th house, 11th house is the house of social connections, social network, social causes, giving back to society, doing more for society, the masses. So when the 8th house lord goes into the 11th house, this could be a lot of gains coming to you because the 8th house lord has gone 4 places from itself, which means after you go through, overcome the challenges, the obstacles, the issues, learn from the dissemination of the 8th house, a lot of assets can come to you. You can make a lot of assets by how you are able to create your bond with the social network, how you are able to go out and be able to create those social connections, maybe earning from your friends, maybe making friends across the board, across network, across societies, and then gaining from it. This could also be somebody whose career goes through ups and downs and then suddenly gets mass adulation, becomes somebody who's an artist of huge creativity, somebody is a huge movie star, somebody is a huge politician, somebody who starts off very slowly and suddenly rises very, very fast up the corporate ladder to end up becoming one of the highest placements in the corporate industry also. And this industry or this company can be a huge company, huge brand name also, getting connected to IT, insurance, wealth, money, finance, health, manufacturing industry, all working for a large organization which is connected to mass social support, mass social nourishment as well. On the other hand, if it's a negative placement, then your biggest challenges, your biggest upheavals may come from friends. The biggest letdowns may come from your friends, or at least 1 or 2 relations, or your so-called friends could be one of the biggest troubles makers for you. Sometimes with this placement, one of your elder siblings could also have challenges in their life, but don't blame yourself because your elder sibling. This is just a manifestation what could be, what could happen in their life, not because of you. Now, basis which planet is the 8th house ruler and goes into the 11th house, that will also have its own manifestation. If it's Mars, then it could mean that you also fight for others, you also fight for social causes, you stand for social causes. If it's Sun, then you take responsibility and accountability for societal gains, for societal transformation. Then you make your assets. If it's Venus, then it could mean a lot of mass adulation, mass hysteria for you, mass attraction for you, and one of the biggest placements to become one of the biggest stars also in this placement. Now when the 8th house lord goes into the 12th house, the 12th house is the biggest house of moksha in the D9 chart. 8th house is also the house of moksha. So here the zodiac is giving you one of the biggest opportunities and the biggest elevation opportunities for you when the 8th house lord in the D9 chart is placed in the 12th house on your D9. So here the zodiac is telling you that, see, I've given you a biggest hope, I've given you biggest probability, but I will also give you that much more challenges, issues, problems, and I will see how you work for others, how you live for others, how you contribute for others, how you sacrifice for others, how you are more giving to others, so that you are able to get a crack at moksha, so that you are able to get a crack at your soul's elevation. So the more understanding that you are of the deepest mysteries of life, challenges, issues, problems, yet you are more giving, yet you are more contributing, yet you are more donating, yet you live for others, the bigger chance that I am going to give you at moksha itself. And this is also because the 8th house lord has gone 5th from itself. Remember that the 5th house in your horoscope is the house of your Purva Punya. So here the horoscope or the zodiac is allowing you to use your Purva Punya to be able to do gains or get gains from the 8th house and make the next step toward the biggest gains from your Purva Punya, which is the crack at moksha itself. This is also placement where your initial challenges, issues, problems, obstacles will prevent you from making good in the manifestation of the 12th house. For example, in getting success in the armed forces, in the medical field, in foreign lands, working with foreign clients, or helping others, or working in large organization which is connected to bringing about a solace to others. Those all will take challenges, will take upheavals, issues, solving those before you make it big. So initial life may go through ups and downs. Initial issues may also not allow you to make good success in foreign lands, or go to foreign land and then get success, but only after you go through a lot of challenges, issues, problems, then you will not only be able to make a crack at being able to go abroad, working on those fields connected to the 12th house, also being connected to foreign lands, working in foreign lands, but this is also one of the best placement to have a crack at the moksha itself, at the spiritual elevation itself. So if you have the 8th house lord placed in the 12th house in your Navamsa chart, see how all these placements get connected to your D1 chart. look at the deeper manifestation of the planetary placement, and then through the planetary placements placed in the D1 chart, and which sign they are in, which houses they are in, with doshas they are in, what yogas they are in, under what aspect they are in. That will also bring in their own flavor. That will also bring in the different manifestation of the flavor. Understand it and then be able to use the 8th house placements in different houses on the D9 chart to your advantage rather than to your pitfall. So friend, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time, some other video, this is a friend astrology and guide signing off. Ciao.